I am recording. Very good. Okay, so Lenin's intentions from 1917. What did he want? Well, the good thing about Lenin was he was very, very vocal in what he wanted. Okay, so that is a good thing for if you've got a question on this topic. You know, did he want to set up a Bolshevik dictatorship from the start? I would probably say yes, he did. But I'd also say that the reality of the Soviet Union forced him into that. Okay, so what did he want? Well, peace, land, and bread. Okay, is his famous triple emphasis. Okay, right. So it's his famous triple emphasis. However, this was a bit more developed than this. He also said that he wanted all power to the Soviets. Okay, that he wanted all power to the Soviets, but really, before that could happen, you need a dictatorship of the proletariat to protect the revolution. Now, how long that dictatorship of the proletariat would be required? Well, that was up to the situation on the ground, wasn't it? The situation at the time. We should also remember, Lenin was even though they're called the Bolshevik Party, he was a party member, I'd say minimalist, because he wanted vanguard theory, at least to set up the revolution. Vanguard theory, okay? So that means that Lenin trusted very, very few people. You know, it was like the kind of hire slow, fire quick mentality. So if you've got a vanguard to protect the revolution, those are your dedicated full-time revolutionaries. They do nothing but try to set up a revolution, all right? So that's the way that he thought, all right? Now, does this seem that Lenin wanted to centralize power? It does, doesn't it? It does seem that Lenin's intention, if not a dictatorship, would be a centralization of power, which is basically the same thing, isn't it, really? So you can see that Lenin wants to centralize power, okay? He didn't really trust the masses. Even though he says all power to the Soviets, you'd think that there'd be a lot of re-education of Russian society before that would happen. So I can see that he wanted to centralize power. But what did Lenin get? Okay, so this is what he wanted. What is the situation on the ground like after the revolution? Well, you know, they've got to sign this Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. They're still at war, technically, with the Germans, okay? And they don't want to be. They don't want to be. I know. They don't want to be at war with the Germans because the Germans have this awesome war machine and the Russians are losing. And it was Kerensky's great error to carry on with the war. Kerensky thought if Russia could score a few victories against Germany, this would garner him massive patriotic support. Okay, it would make groups like the Bolsheviks pale into insignificance. How wrong his gamble went. Remember, when you go to war, the risks are very high. Okay, and outcomes are never certain. So Lenin, as part of what he wanted, peace, signs this peace deal with the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Now, this is in part one of the big reasons why he provokes a civil war with the whites, because he cedes so much territory and so much of his population, 1/5, I think, of his territory and population, 65 million people, and 1/5 of the territory of the Soviet Union. It was a bitter price to pay. Many communists, actually, in the party, in the Bolshevik Party, were opposed to this, because for the simple reason that it undermined a sense of patriotism, which is important in the Russian people. They weren't happy about this whatsoever. Okay, so also he has these election losses. So he runs an election which I think he fully expected to win. Now, I think the reason that he fully expected to win this was because he was in an echo chamber, and his echo chamber was the cities. Okay, so he spent most of his time in the cities. He wasn't really someone that spent a lot of his time in the countryside, and so I think it would have been quite hard to do polling at the time. And so the Bolsheviks come second in that election, and the socialist revolutionaries win. Now, we all know what Lenin's approach to that was. Okay, elections mean nothing. Now, I do laugh when he says this because it seems massively hypocritical. So all power to the Soviets, i.e. the people. Oh, but not when they're voting for the social revolutionaries. But what he says actually is that the Bolshevik Party have attained a higher level of democracy. A higher level of democracy, okay? A high level of functioning. And therefore, this election doesn't mean anything because the people that are voting for it are uneducated peasants and they don't understand what they're voting for. Because they're not literate. They haven't been educated. So how could they have read any of the Marxist principles of Das Kapital, for instance? They couldn't, could they? So they're uneducated. So these elections mean nothing. So essentially, to protect the revolution with the dictatorship of the proletariat, he has to ignore these election results to protect it, to protect that communist revolution, because these other groups maybe wouldn't be able to maintain it. So he has to centralize power and ignore these people. Okay? So this maybe charade of democracy is over very, very quickly. And last but not least, and really not least, the Russian Civil War. Now, I think this really dictates that he had to create a dictatorship. Okay, so he was under attack. He was under attack by a vast amount of Russian white soldiers, okay, and generals. Now, this was a huge problem. Okay, it was an existential threat. So, what can you do? What can you do? Okay, apart from centralized power, if you are under attack, if you've got a vast, massive, if you've got 4 different white armies, okay, coming for you, what can you do apart from centralized power? You have to centralize power to defend yourself. You can't just say, "Oh, I tell you what, we'll let the Soviets decide our war strategy." It wouldn't work. Okay, so in peacetime, things can plod along and be a bit more slow. The pace can be a bit more slow. That's okay. People can debate things and things can take a bit of time. But in wartime, action is required, right? So I think Lenin's intentions from 1917 are basically governed by a dual dynamic. Yes, he had his ideology, but we saw previously that he was willing to cede ideology for pragmatism, okay, with his NEP. But also, we had the very alarming and rapidly declining situation on the ground, which for me kind of meant that he had to have a dictatorship, yeah, in order to survive. Because if he hadn't created a centralized power base, they just would have fallen like a pack of cards or been crushed like a piece of chalk under a stiletto heel. There you go. How's that for a metaphor? Right. Okay. I'm going to leave it on that note. Right. Stop recording. Stop recording. Stop